Impressive return to form for Watford this past weekend as they smashed 6 past Bristol City, and of course Brentford lose to Barnsley. But what's going to happen this week? We've got a whole jam-packed schedule up ahead. We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back to give another prediction today. Today, we're taking a look at matchday number 30 out of the Championship, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe and get your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related Championship related. Whoa, here we go here on the Roverseas. That's right, boys and girls. Whoa. Where the bloody hell you been? Big week for, of course, Preston as well. Of course, they had their FA Cup final against Rovers and they came out on top. And we'll talk all about that in a minute. But before that, a big shout out, of course, to the Patreons. You know who you are, the VIP band of brothers who went right here to check out my Patreon page once or maybe twice, and they put their faith behind this man. But as you can see, you can join in various levels, and if you are interested, the link is up here and it also should be on the screen right about now. But anyway, of course, there's content on there for you guys to check it all out, and again, it just shows that you're supporting a creator, especially through crazy times like this. And there is puts a lot of work in these prediction leagues, believe it or not, and it's been quite a tough thing to keep on going, especially with my workload right now. And when I say workload, I mean I've got a lot on my plate. But anyway, enough about that. But if you are interested, check out the link, of course. Here we bloody go. Take a look back. Here we go, boys and girls. Here's all those games that took place this past week. Of course, we had a bit. If you were paying attention, there was of course 3 or 4 games, or at least 3 of them in the midweek. I didn't have the graphic there, but of course I did verbally predict them. I don't know what I went, but anyway, we're going to go over those. And again, because we're pushed for time, I'm only going to give you the scores and not the scorers. So here we bloody go. Kick it all off with, of course, on where were we? We're on Rotherham against Cardiff. Was a 2-1 win for Cardiff in the end. I don't know what I picked, but I'll tell you the goal scorers for this one because I don't have any other info. Shenji Ojo, Joe Bennett giving the Cardiff the win. Of course, they're back into playoff contention right now. Cardiff looking very at the part. Matt Crooks on the score sheet for Rotherham. Of course, they fluffed their lines. Meanwhile, Sheffield Wednesday got themselves an important win as well. 2-0 win over Wycombe. Jordan Rhodes, of course, on the score sheet. Adam Reach as well, and of course the big thanks. Oh, there's no big thanks this week. Of course, Reading slipped up again against Brentford. Big win for them as well to keep them on track for automatics. Josh Da Silva with a brace. I'm Tony as well on the score sheet for Brentford. Lucas Chow on the score sheet as well for Reading in 3-1 win for Brentford. Into the weekend's games it was. Of course, it all kicked off on Friday night, and what a shit show it was. 2-1 I predicted for Rovers, but unfortunately it was 2-1 going in favour of Preston. The less said about that, the better. Meanwhile, Rotherham against QPR did not go ahead. Bit of the old COVID or bit of frozen pitch, I don't even know. Same game with Sheffield Wednesday against Swansea. That will go ahead another time. Meanwhile, Forest against Bournemouth, 1-1 draw. Of course, Bournemouth are not there. They're not the real deal just yet. They need to make a good appointment if they're going to realistically push on into to keep their playoff dreams alive. Forest, though, grinding out results. Next, of course, with Birmingham City against Luton Town. Birmingham City are in a bit of bother. 1-0 loss to Luton Town. Actually, went with the 2-1 win for Birmingham. Shame on me. Meanwhile, Cardiff against Coventry was a 3-1 win for Cardiff. Actually, went with a 2-0 win myself. Not too shabby. Derby also getting a win over Middlesbrough, 2-1 final score. Actually went with a 1-0 win myself on that badger. Meanwhile, Reading against Millwall ended up as a 2-1 win going in favour of Millwall. Actually went with Reading, believe it or not. I don't know, I don't usually do that, but I went with Reading, but unfortunately they lost. Watford smashed Bristol City with a 6-0 win to get themselves right back into contention for, of course, not only playoffs, but maybe even automatics. But Huddersfield Town against Wycombe was a big win for Wycombe, 3-2 win over them. Huddersfield Town don't know what they're doing. 1-0 win for them for me, got that one wrong. Meanwhile, Norwich did beat Stoke 4-1, 2-0 for me, and Brentford did lose to Barnsley 2-0 in a game which I think nobody called except for one. Russell Frosty backed his boys that were Barnsley. Let's get into the stuff here then. I don't even know what blah 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 shitface gang. Let's get into it, of course. Let's take a look at it. Of course, Tom Stainer, how did you get on, brother? You did very poop. Of course, Shane O'Donnell also did very well. James BCFCR, great, you did shite though. Okay, didn't do good. Jake Kidd also did shite. Olaji Ojo did good, well done, of course. Yannick Buster did poop. Omar Esquivel also had a shocker, but it's alright. Mickey Niark also did gash. Elise also did poop. Ultra Omar Muir though, he did get, look, you see what I'm going here? You guys missed these extra Brucey bonus points here. That could have gave you a bit of a scoreline. Russell, Nathan Ava also had a nightmare though. Alex did poop. Jakob Jackson also had a shocker. Jamie Gold did good. Cody Hall also did poop. Vincent Long did bits. Game Charlie also did very well. Robert also did very well. Of course, Russell Frost, he knows what to do. He did very well. Of course, here we bloody go there. Ooh, your kingpins, if your name is Miniarco or Alex Weller, don't even look look at it. You had a night, you had a stinker. But if your name's Gaming Charlie, Roberto Hoss, or Russell Frost, take a bow. You're going yourself 6 out of whatever there was there. Of course, the overall leaderboard has changed maybe a little bit. Your kingpin still is Gaming Charlie, 60% success rate. Shane O'Donnell's in second. Russell Frost making a move. Of course, he's trying to do a clean sweep, right? He's trying to do a clean sweep of the EFL. Woo! My goodness. Vincent Hong, of course, into 4th. Alex Miller 5th, of course. Again, still a lot to be played, especially this next week. Double match week. We're just doing the one batch of games here, and that's these. So let's get into it, of course. Shall we? Of course, Watford taking on, of course, Preston down at Deepdale. Played to the last 6, 2 wins apiece, and 2 draws last round at Deepdale. Was in the Carabao Cup. Back in 2015, it was a 1-0 win for Preston. Manny Vidic on the score sheet. Of course, Preston. Miguel Brintos got himself sent off for Watford. Last time, pretty sure that in league action was back in 2011 at Deepdale. Of course, 3-1 win. Barry Nicholson, Ian Hume, JB Proctor on the score sheet, Andrews Wyman on the score sheet for Watford. Of course, the pleasure this season down to Vicarage Road was a 4-1 win for Watford, of course. Heading into this, Watford keeping a clean sheet in 5 last 7 matches, of course. Is it Scott? What's the guy? Ben, whatever his name is, with the thing? I don't know. Anyway, Preston undefeated in the last 11 home matches against Watford in all competitions. Heading into this, though, just 1 win the past 4 games for Preston, all scores against Rovers. The less said about that, the better. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 6 for Watford. That 1 defeat was against QP bloody R. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Give me a momento, prego. Let's have a look at it, shall we? Of course, Preston 3-1 for the victory, 20-20 is your Watford, 11-5 is your draw. Watford coming at you out in, of course, 4 for a win for them. They could close it in. They could actually overtake Swansea into 3rd. After Preston, they're down into 11th. A win for them. They could actually go as high as 7th in the table. On this one, going to go with a 2-2 draw on this one. Can't separate 2 sides. I think Watford will get a point. I think Preston will be, they will not lose this game. We will Stoke up against Sheffield Wednesday in the Battle of the S's. Of course, played in the last 6. 2 wins for Stoke, 1 for Sheffield Wednesday, 3 draws last round in the Bet365. So 3-2 win for Stoke back in Boxing Day 2019. James McLean on score sheet, Tyrus Campbell, Sam Vokes on score sheet, Morgan Fox, Tom Lees on score sheet for Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, the picture of this season at Hillsborough was a 0-0 draw back in November. However, Stoke have actually failed to win the last 9 matches in the Championship, with Sheffield Wednesday also failed to win 10 last 11 matches on the road. Coming into this, though, Sheffield Wednesday just 1 defeat the past 4 games. That 1 defeat was against Millwall. It was a bit of a spanking 4-1 loss as well. Meanwhile, Stoke without a win in at least 6 games. No bookies also, of course, because of the Bet365. Stoke coming at you out in 10th. A win for them, though, they could go as high as 7th, whereas Sheffield Wednesday are 22nd. Of course, a win for them, they could themselves get up to at least 19th in the table, and of course get out of those relegation spots once and for all. Going to go with a 1-0 win for Stoke. I don't know why, but I've not seen anything to convince me, but I'm going to give them 3 points over Sheffield Wednesday, who maybe lack a little bit of finesse at the end here. Bristol City up against Reading, of course. Bristol City trying to bounce back after that spanking just the other day. These two are pretty sure the 6 times. The last 6 been 3 wins for Bristol City, 2 for Reading, and 1 draw last round in Thrashton Gate. Was a 1-0 for Bristol City back in October 2019. Family Diadaru on the score sheet was on the verge, I think, of joining Middlesbrough in the transfer window in exchange for Brett Summerlonger, but of course that fell through. Meanwhile, the picture of the Majewski this season, a 3-1 win as well for Reading back in November. Ijara, Maite, and Lucas Jow on the score sheet, Naki Bells on the score sheet as well for Bristol City. Bristol City have actually lost the last 4 matches in the Championship. They've also conceded at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches. Heading into this, 5 defeats on the spin for Bristol City. Of course, Reading just 1 win the past 5 as well. The 1 wins against Bournemouth, of course, to keep them just still in the hunt. Bookies odds on this one coming at you 11-4 for Bristol City. Even Stevens as your Reading, 23-10 is your draw. Difficult one, this one, of course. Bristol City are down into 13th right now, but a win for them, they could get themselves right back up to at least 7th. As for Reading now 5th, a win for them, they could go 4th in the table. I don't believe in any of these 2 sides right now, so it's hard to believe, but I think Bristol City will nick this one because Reading, I think they're going to have a bit of a rough time in the next few matches. I think they'll eventually drop out of the top 6. So yeah, meanwhile, Middlesbrough up against clueless Huddersfield Town at the moment. Anyway, they played each other in the last 6, 4 wins for Middlesbrough, 1 for Huddersfield, 1 draw last round at the Riverside was a 1-0 win for Middlesbrough back in Boxing Day 2019. Digit Spence on the score sheet with the winner. Of course, they played each other at the John Smith Stadium, Kirklees, whatever you want to call it, 3-2 win back in November for Huddersfield. Meanwhile, though, Borough have actually lost the last 4 matches in the Championship. They've also kept a clean sheet, though, in the last 3 home matches against Huddersfield. They've also won the last 3 home matches against Huddersfield as well. Meanwhile, Huddersfield on the flip side failed to win the last 9 away matches, of course, and without a win at least 6, both home and away. On the flip side, just 1 win the past 6 games for Middlesbrough. That was against Nottingham Forest, all the way back at the end of January. Of course, look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Middlesbrough 5-4 on for the victory, 50-4 is your Huddersfield, 5-2 is your draw. Of course, Huddersfield down into 18th. They could get sucked into that relegation zone right here right now, but a win for them, they could actually go as high as 16th, whereas Middlesbrough are in 8th. A win for them, they could close in on 6th, but just moving into 7th in the end. Middlesbrough will win this one with a 2-0 win at the Riverside. Next, of course, Wycombe Wanderers up against Derby County. Derby County look to have pulled themselves away, but of course a win here for Wycombe could change it all. Of course, played each other in just the one time, and that was back in November at Pride Park. It was a 1-1 draw back in the day. Dwayne Holmes on the score sheet, Matt Bloomfield as well. Heading into this, look, Wycombe have actually conceded at least 2 goals in 5 of the last 6 matches, and they come into this just 1 win in the past 6 games. That 1 win was against Wycombe. That was a big one, 3-2 win, of course. Meanwhile, Derby, 4 wins in the past 5 games. They're looking good right now. That defeat was against Rotherham, 3-0 loss. Big win required here against one of the fellow strugglers, though, needed. Look at the bookies odds on this one, 10-3 on for Wycombe, 65 on is your Derby. They look to have turned the corner, 5-2 is your draw. Win for Derby in 19th. They could go as high as 16th, whereas Wycombe are in 24th. For win for them, they could close in on Birmingham, but that, of course, looks a little bit too far gone at the moment. Going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one, point split right down the middle, to keep Derby in the cusp, but of course, give Wycombe a nice point in the end. Luton Town up against Cardiff, who are also on form, of course. Anyway, last 6 between 2 sides, 4 wins for Cardiff, 1 win for Luton, and 1 draw. Last round in Luton was the 1 win for Cardiff back in last season, of course. Lee Tomlin on the score sheet for Cardiff. Meanwhile, they played each other at Wales back in November, of course, 4-0 win for Cardiff. Sean Morrison, Mark Harris, Kiefer Moore, Sheji, Jojo, or Yo-Yo, whatever his name is, on the score sheet back in November. Heading into this, though, Cardiff have actually won their last 3 matches in the Championship, also scoring at least 2 goals in the last 3 on the road, winning 3 on the spin, unbeaten in the last 5. That's Cardiff. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat, 1 win in the past 5 games for Luton. That 1 win was against Birmingham just the other day. They needed that result, of course. Heading into this, though, Luton actually 90-10 for the victory, 25 is draw. Of course, 11-8 is your Cardiff. Cardiff coming at you out in 7th. A win for them, they could close in on 6th. A win for them, they'll put them just 3 points adrift. As for Luton, they're down at 15th for the moment, but a win for them, they could actually go as high. They could actually go above Cardiff, depending on the goal swing on this one. We're going to go with a 2-1 win for Luton at home. They're hard to beat. Cardiff, not there yet. Good, but not good enough at the moment. Meanwhile, Coventry up against Norwich. Let's take a look at this son of a bitch then, shall we? Of course, played the last 6-4 for Norwich, nothing for Coventry, 2 draws last round at Larico, or wherever you want to play it, St Andrews, or whenever Coventry were at home in competitive action. We're going all the way back to 2010. It was a 2-1 win for Norwich. Goodness gracious me, the goal scorers Grant Holt with a brace, Marlon King on the score sheet. Of course, Aaron Gunnarsson got himself sent off. However, they did play each other this season at Carrow Road in the FA Cup. That was a 2-0 win for Norwich. They also played in the Championship this season at Carrow as a 1-1 draw. Heading into this, Coventry keeping a clean sheet in the 5 last 6 home matches in the Championship. They've also, Norwich though, undefeated in the last 7 matches against Coventry in all comps. Heading into this, just 1 win the past 6 for Coventry. That was against Sheffield Wednesday. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 5 for Norwich. That was against Stoke, and it was a big one as well, 4-1 just the other day. Meanwhile, the bookies, the odds on this one, Coventry 10-2 for the victory, 25 is draw, 20-17 on is your Norwich. They are stone cold favourites. Of course, Norwich coming at you at top of the pops. A win for them, they will be top of the pops no matter what goes on elsewhere. As for Coventry, they're down in 20th. A win for them, they could go as high as 16th in the table. Of course, Coventry will be good, but unfortunately not good enough. Norwich will take the win with a 2-1 win in the end. Millwall up against Birmingham. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other last 6-2 for Millwall, 1 for Birmingham, 3 draws. Last round at the Den was a 0-0 draw back in February 2020. Of course, played each other at St Andrews this season. It was also a 0-0 draw. In fact, the last 3 games between the two sides have all ended up as a draw. It is the Gary Rowett derby, I believe. Heading into this, Millwall drawing the last 3 against Birmingham. We talked about that. Millwall keeping a clean sheet in 6 of the last 8 matches against Birmingham in all comps. Heading into this, though, Millwall just 1 win. In fact, they're unbeaten in the last 5. They're on a bit of a resurgence, I would say. So picking up 3 draws and 2 wins to boot. As for Birmingham, without a win in 5, losing 3 and drawing 2 in the quick succession, of course. Heading into this, the bookies odds taking place on Wednesday. This 165 for Millwall, 21-10 is your draw. 12-5 is also your Birmingham, of course. Birmingham coming at the relegation zone, but a win for them. They could shoot themselves up to 19th. As for Millwall, 14th at the moment, but a win for them. They could also go as high as 7th. Bloody Nora back in the hunt. They are 2-0 win in the end. Millwall will take the 3 points. Into QPR taking, of course, Brentford now, shall we? Of course, played each other in the last 6, 1 win for QPR, 5 for Brentford, no draws last round at Loftus Road. Was a 3-1 win for Brentford, of course, back in October 2019. Ollie Watkins with the brace, said Banrama as well. Grant Hall also on the score sheet for QPR. They also played each other this season in Brentford's Fancy Pass New Stadium, of course, 2-1 win for Brentford. Vitali Janjet on the score sheet, Ivan Toney as well. Lyndon Dykes on the score sheet for QPR. Todd Kay got himself sent off. Meanwhile, heading into this, though, Brentford scoring at least 2 goals in the last 10 matches against QPR in all comps. Brentford also won the last 4 matches against QPR in all competitions as well. Heading into this, though, just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Brentford, though, of course, against Barnsley, fresh off the boat, that Badger. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 5 for Derby. For QPR, that was against Derby, 1-0 loss. So QPR looking good at the moment. Of course, postponement recently to kind of put a kink in their armour. Meanwhile, 10-3 or 10-3 for QPR, 65 on Asia. Brentford 12-5 is your. Of course, Brentford coming actually in second win for them. They could actually go. If they were to win, of course, QPR down in 17th in a win for them. They could actually go as high as 16th in the table. Tough one, this one, of course. Bit of local rivalry on the line, but I think Brentford will take it with a 3-1 win in the the end. Swansea up against Nottingham Forest, of course. Fruity won this one, played each other the last 6. Of course, it was the tail of the tape last season, which, of course, saw Forest go out of the playoffs and Swansea squeeze in. Of course, the pleasure of this season already in Wales as a 5-1 win in the FA Cup. Swansea coming out top with a 5-1 Bobby Dazzler. They also played this season down at the City Grounds, a 1-0 win for Swansea as well. In fact, it's been 3 games unbeaten for Swansea over Forest. Of course, heading into this, Swansea undefeated in the last 11 home matches in the Championship, whereas Forest have actually won their last 3 on the road. They're actually unbeaten in the last 4. They picked up 2 draws and 2 wins to boot. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 5 for Swansea. The 1 defeat was against Manchester City in the FA Cup. Look at the bookies. Odds on this one. Swansea will be your favourites. They are even Stevens for the victory. 11-4 is your Forest. 45 is your draw. Of course, Forest coming at you in 16th, and with them they could close in on 15th. Whereas, of course, Swansea are 3rd, and with them they could close in on 2nd. They can't get 2nd, but they can close on it. But they've also got 2 games in hand on those 2 as well. Swansea will win this one with a 2-0 win. In the end, then we have the best game, of course, the whole midweek, and it'll be a live watch along on the channel. Of course, Barnsley up against Blackburn Rovers. Of course, Rovers looking absolutely shite at the moment. Where are we? Back-to-back defeats for them. Played each other the last 6, 3 wins for Barnsley, 2 for Rovers, 1 draw. Of course, at Oka last round was a 2-0 win back in June 2020 last season. Connor Chapman, Jacob Brown, and Scotty Ben Brereton got himself bloody sent off. However, they did play each other this season at Ewood Park. It was a 2-1 win for Rovers. Barnsley were good, a little bit unlucky, I would say. Armstrong Gallagher with a couple of goals there between them, and of course Roma Palmer on the Scottish Barnsley. Too little, too late though. Barnsley scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 home matches against Blackburn in all competitions, and they'll fancy their chances as well. Just 1 defeat the past 5 for Barnsley. The 1 defeat was against Chelsea. Meanwhile, Rovers 2 defeats on the spin for them, losing to QPR and of course losing to Preston in a month that was supposed to be so good for Rovers. Looks so shite right now. Anyway, heading into this 31-20 for Barnsley. They are your favourites. 17-10 is your draw. 23-10 is your Rovers. Of course, Rovers coming at you in 9th for win for them. They could close in on they could go 7th and close in on 6th, whereas Barnsley are in 12th and win for them. They could actually go above Rovers all the way up to 7th themselves. I've gone with a 2-2 draw on this one. I don't believe in the Rovers right now. I'm clueless. I don't believe in it, and I think we'll be lucky to get a point out of this one. And then fruity at the end. Bournemouth up against Rotherham. Of course, played each other in the last 6. 4 for Bournemouth, nothing for Rotherham. 2 draws last one around. At the Vitality was a 1-1 draw back in 2014 in the Championship. Stevie Cook on the Scottish, Jordan Bowery as well. They also played each other at the New York Stadium this season back in November as a 2-2 draw as well. Heading into this, though, Rotherham have actually won the last 3 away matches in the Championship. They're coming into at this one. What are we looking at? 2 defeats plus 5, whereas Birmingham actually unbeaten the last 3, pick up 2 wins and a draw to boot. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Bournemouth are actually 10-7 on for the victory. 13-5 is your 4-1 is your Rotherham. Rotherham coming at you out in 21st, but a win for them, they could actually go as high as 19th. Bournemouth coming at you in 6th, and win for them, they could actually go as high as 5th in the table. For me, going to go with a 2-1 win for Bournemouth on this one to take 3 points and get themselves back into the hunt and actually climb up to 5th in the table. Of course, at the end of it, if my picks come on in, Norwich will be top, of course, 61 points on the board. Brentford will be in 2nd, of course, 60. Of course, Swansea in 3rd with 2 games in hand, and if they were to win both of those, guess what? They could be top of the pops themselves. Watford into 4th, Bournemouth 5th, Reading 6th, and of course, Middlesbrough, Stoke, Bristol, City, Millwall, and Rovers, and the whole chasing pack still within a couple of wins away from getting back into the hunt. Of course, at the foot of the table, Wycombe, Birmingham, and Rotherham going down. That could be it. That could be the teams that go down. We'll have to wait and see. Be sure to get your picks in nice and early for this. The Championship, of course, we'll do it all again very, very soon. But until then, be sure to give the video some moment. Smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below: Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, Patreon. If you want to become the latest member of the Patreon gang, check that sucker out. But until then, I'll see you all very soon. Mask up, get yourself predictions in there, and of course, I'll see you all next time around.